guys, welcome to the first video we're gonna upload. This is NBA Stock Trading 101, Introductions to Sports Betting. We're just gonna go over some basic stuff today like line movement, lines, deposits, different types of bets. If you have some experience in sports betting, go ahead and skip this video, but otherwise, thank you so much for checking this out. So the first thing we're gonna go over today are lines. Lines are essentially the price that you are paying in order to bet. You know, in American odds, you're only gonna see a plus or minus sign in front of a number, which is usually in the hundreds. So if you see a number like plus 240, it means that you have to bet $100 in order to win $240. But you also get your $100 back when you win, so you get a total payout of $340. So if you see a minus 240, it means you have to bet $240 in order to win $100. Once again, you get your $240 back for the same payout of $340. Minus signs denote favorites. The bigger the number, so a minus 800, the bigger the favorites, right? Versus say minus 105, which is pretty much a break even. On the plus side, same thing. Plus sides usually mean underdogs or teams that are currently losing, or Vegas doesn't think will win the game. And you know, the bigger the plus sign, the bigger the underdog. There are predominantly four main ways that you can bet: point spreads, over-unders, money lines, and parlays. Point spreads are derived from the NFL. It's how most people think of sports betting, and it's basically affording a set number of points to the underdog. The Lakers go to Denver and they're a +4 underdog. If Denver wins by 3 or less, you still actually win your bet. Or if you lose that bet, Denver would have to win by 5. So it gives you a bit of insurance as a bettor. But what Vegas actually does is they try to balance the money on both sides and they will juice the lines. So you're gonna see a lot of minus 110s, minus 115s, regardless of either side. So Vegas doesn't really care about who wins in point spreads, they just take the juice. For me, point spreads are really not the right way of betting because players don't really care and you put your hands in the fate of luck a lot of the times, and I try to avoid that as much as I can. So point spreads, forget about it. Over-unders, another thing we don't really touch because it doesn't really have much to do with winning the game. Over-unders really is just the sum of the total of the score, fairly straightforward. Money lines. Money lines are the bread and butter of what we do. It's pretty much the only thing that we do. And money line is really simple. Who do you think is gonna win the game, right? There are two types of bets. Either one, you bet before the game, or you bet live. And most good books will offer live lines. It's something that we go over. 78% of our bets will actually be live because that's when you get the best odds. Last type of bet are parlays. Parlays really are just a group of bets that all have to check off for you to win. Right? So it's like a large lottery ticket. So you might have Memphis plus 330, Miami minus 210, you know, Knicks plus 140, and the Clippers plus 110, right? So all four have to hit in order for you to win your bet. It is a low risk, high reward situation, but parlays are really, really difficult to hit, especially in the NBA. You know, so we might dabble in them a little bit, but for the most, we will probably stick to money lines. Line movement mostly affects point spreads because Vegas is trying to balance on both sides, right? It does give us though a ton of information. So let's say Lakers at Denver, line opens at +4. Lines usually come out the same day in the NBA, right? And throughout the day, you see the line shift to +1.5, which means that the public has bought the Lakers line from +4 down to 1.5. What that tells me as a bettor is you have a ton of money coming in on the Lakers, right? And Vegas is adjusting the point spread so there's even money on both sides. Because once again, usually Vegas doesn't care who wins, they just want to take the juice, right? So if the line goes from +4 to -1 to +1.5, I know a lot of the public money is coming in on the Lakers. So it's really just something for you to think about when you're actually watching and betting that game live. At this point, you're ready to get started. Wonderful. Go pick your sportsbook. We will use pinnaclesports.com. They're an online sportsbook located in the Caribbean. They're one of the oldest, if not the oldest sportsbook around, and the most reliable that I have used for about 10 years now. I will say though that I don't think they accept US bettors as of now, but like I said, legislation in the United States is changing rapidly, so hopefully that'll change. 5 Dimes is a good alternative for US citizens, and check Bookmaker. Bookmaker might allow US citizens, but when you're picking a sports book, it's really important to pick a reliable one. One is the juice, right? So why Pinnacle is so good is you're gonna see the same game from sportsbooks. So for example, at Pinnacle, Lakers at Denver, Lakers might be +160, right? But if you use Bulldog, for example, that same game, Lakers will be only +120, which means that you're losing about 30 cents on the dollar, which is huge. So you have to pick the sportsbook with the best lines. Pinnacle is the best. 5 Dimes is pretty good. Bet365 is another good one. They're based out of the UK. They're mostly known for their soccer odds, but their basketball lines are also okay, especially the live betting. They give live odds by possession, which is usually nuts. I prefer Pinnacle, which is a little simpler and cleaner, you know, to give you live odds every stop of game. And that pretty much sums up this video. So now you know what lines are, you know what type of bets that you can make, and you know what sportsbook to use. So if you want, go ahead, set up your account. Hopefully you'll watch the rest of our videos and learn more about this so that you can bet on the season if you want. Thanks so much for checking this out, guys.